I'm Patrick Tsang, global citizen, investor. Join me as I talk with global influencers for their insight, wisdom, and how they overcame their own personal challenges. Sharing positivity, overcoming challenges, creating one world together. I'm Patrick Tsang. Anything is possible. Welcome to another episode of Anything is Possible. We're shooting in LA with a very special guest, Grammy Award-winning artist, Philip Lawrence. Phil, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So Phil, tell us a bit about the musical love. Like, how did it come about?
Yeah, music's been a part of my life ever since I was a wee little baby. Just a wee little baby. Are you listening to me? A wee little lad. And so my mom was a choir director. My dad was a deacon in the church. I sang on stage with my brother and sister. I think the first time I was on stage, I was like 5 years old. There were 2,000 people out, and we were performing in a talent show for the very first time. We were singing this gospel song called I Am a Promise. I am a promise. I am a possibility. I am a promise. And we won. And I was
with
hooked.
That?
We won with that. I didn't quite have the neck jerk.
What age were you then?
I was around 5 or 6 years old. Yeah, and that was the first time being on stage, and I just loved it, man. I loved the applause. I loved the eyeballs on me, and you know, I'm shy, so clearly.
Clearly. So you were seeking for the dopamine in a way, the applause.
I think so.
So when did you get into songwriting?
Songwriting, I think, started for me before I realized it.
Okay.
So in school, I always loved language. I always loved English. I always loved writing. So my teachers would call it BSing. But I was always just good at like talking, and I was in theater and speech. And so I wrote my first song when I was in high school for a young lady.
Oh, wow.
And it was called Angel in Disguise.
Did you ever release it?
No, It's never been released. It's all.
Has it ever been heard in the public?
No.
So it's exclusive.
I see what you're doing. This is exclusive. This should be an NFT.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it never got released. But I think that planted the seed in me. That many years later, I would.
Bit of a romantic at heart.
I am.
Obviously, you had a long collaboration with Bruno Mars. How did that come about?
Yeah, we had a mutual friend, and we were working. He's a producer. Shout out Keith Harris. He's a drummer for the Black Eyed Peas and a very accomplished producer in his own right. And he was working with Bruno, and I was working with him, and we had never crossed paths. And one day he called me up. He said, "Hey man, I've been working with this kid who's really talented, but I think he could use somebody else in the room to kind of help him with his ideas and stuff." He was like,
This before he became way famous.
Before anything. This is before the Mars. And so, at the time, your boy was flat broke. Okay, this is broke, this is me. I'm like in this sphere. And so.
So what year are we talking about?
2006, I think. And in LA, a lot of people say they have the next big thing. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I know a guy and someone that's really talented. And so you're used to hearing these things. And so I had no money at the time. I had actually $5 and I didn't have a car. It was going to take that $5
to take a cab to get to the place.
Well, I wish the cab would get me to where I needed to go, but a bus ticket. Okay. And you could buy an all-day pass for $5. And I was in West LA at the time, and the studio was in North Hollywood.
Wow.
2.5-hour bus ride. And I just told the guy, I said, look, man, all right, man, I really hope your dude is talented, but if you could just give me back my $5 when I get there, that would be really nice for you to
appreciate it.
And he did. He gave me a crisp 5. It was newer than the one I had. It was good. It was an upgrade. So I get there, and it's Bruno. And we hit it off. Actually, that particular day was the first day that either of us had written, recorded, and produced an entire song in one day. And I think that's when we knew that, this might be something special.
Wow. So do you think that day changed your life?
It did.
Career-wise anyway, right?
For sure.
Before that, how long were you like hustling and bustling?
A very long time. A very long time before and below the poverty line. A very long time. But it all came around in the right time. What'd you ask me?
How long did it take for the
Before then?
Yeah.
Long time, man. I worked at Disney World, performing and dancing, then moved to LA. It took me
From
many
Florida?
years. From Florida. A little bit of homelessness there. I grew up in Indiana, and I sort of had these two worlds, I was kind of a big fish in a little pond. And it sort of created bad habits in me in that I always assumed.
But were you always this kind of like colorful, extrovert kind of character,
so.
playful character
Yeah.
at home?
For sure.
And were you a nuisance to your parents?
Absolutely.
But they loved it.
You'd have to ask them that.
Was it quite a religious upbringing?
It was very.
Because of and you're grateful of the choir and the singing and the dancing.
That's right.
Because otherwise you might not have nurtured that talent, right?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And then from then, did you know that that's what I'm gonna do?
I feel like I knew. I knew that performing in something in entertainment was gonna be my life. I didn't quite know that it would lead to songwriting and what I've been able to experience. I know what I want to do.
So Disney World, you were working as a performer.
That's right.
Right. And how long were you doing that?
About 6 years.
And how was that 6 years?
Unbelievable. Because I never went to college, and I felt like that was my college. Because I learned about, myself, my abilities. It was the first time that I traveled abroad. I became a vocal ambassador to Disney, and they sent me to London for the first time, in Spain. It was a really, really cool experience. And last year, because I haven't been there or worked there in 20 years, I got a chance to write the 50-year anniversary song for Disney World in Orlando.
Wow.
And they called me up. They were like, and it was the same guy that used to work with me when I was there. He was the same director. And we had this beautiful full circle moment. He was like, would you be available to write the song? I was like, absolutely. So we pulled it off. Yeah, it was really nice.
So after the 6 years, when did you realize that, Disney World's not for me, I need to go to LA?
I got a job singing background on an NSYNC tour.
As in Justin Timberlake, NSYNC, okay.
Timberlake and those boys, yeah. And we all kind of came up around the same time in Orlando, Joey and JC and all those dudes. And so I got a job on tour with them.
So you quit Disney World, pack your bags, get to LA, and your background. And how long did you do that for?
Until September 11th. And everything shut down. And then I was like, okay, what now? And that's when I started writing with a couple of producers in Orlando who were kind of doing well in the scene. And we, the three of us, ultimately moved to California.
Talk us through, how those years were.
Developing work ethic. It was the humbling years. I think when you're forced to really become a student of the journey, and I think things have to, at some point in your life, not go the way you want them to, for you to really appreciate it when they do. And for me, I moved to California thinking that things were going to be similar to what it was in Evansville. And everybody was just going to love me and applaud for me everywhere I go. And mama, look, I made it. And I moved to California and nobody cared. It's like, all right, you're one of a million people out here. Mm.
How long did it take you to realize that?
Soon. It was very soon. It was very humbling. I'm fortunate that I have parents that instilled in me a belief that I can achieve things. Because I don't know that if I didn't have that I would have made it, that I would have stayed. I believe that when you are walking in purpose, and I feel fortunate that even at a very young age, I felt like I knew what my purpose was. And I think that was a pretty broad sense when I was younger. I knew music. I don't know what really in detail what that would mean. But there was a sense of direction because I knew what my purpose was, or at least I felt I did. So the setbacks and the roadblocks and the no's and the consistent, responses of, you're not that good, you're not that cool, you're not that good looking, you should be taller. All these things that I believe that if I wasn't really truly in my purpose, it would have deterred me and I would have quit. But because I felt like I was on this planet to do what I'm doing. I was like, nah, I don't believe you. You know, maybe it means I need to work harder. Maybe it means I need to be a better songwriter. And I think that's, you know, early on what Bruno and I discovered, because he and I both had the same dream of being, you know, superstars. And we would go to these labels and, you know, they would say, no, you guys are not superstars, you know. And it forced us, and I say thankfully, to look inward and to really go down that journey of who are we and how hard are we really willing to work.
In terms of not necessarily in the entertainment industry, but specifically the entertainment industry or the sports industry, people have these dreams of becoming Michael Jordan, NBA, music, Bruno, and all these guys. And at what point from you as a successful artist guy, what's your advice to young people? How do you make the differentiation of when do I stop, when do I give up, when do I keep going? Maybe it's not right for me. At what point do you decide, like your point is like you took the $5, you got on the bus, you went to see Bruno. Imagine if Bruno was not good,
right.
Nothing happened, you got your crisp $5. What do you do next? Do you keep going another year, another 2 years, another 10 years? How do you know I'm really ready to do this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I'm not prepared to answer it. No, I'm kidding. I think you have to pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening around you. There's lessons in everything. I came to LA to be the superstar that makes it. This is before Bruno. It wasn't happening. So I had to adopt a modicum of humility that says, okay, man, maybe this isn't in the cards for you, but you've got other talents. You've got other gifts. You like to write. Let's focus on that. So I think if you approach whatever it is that you're going after with some humility that it may not be what you designed or thought it to be, you'll be okay. Because, you know, we all can't take ourselves too seriously. You know, we're on, you know, this planet for a blip. So you have to sort of take everything with a grain of salt and be as excited and happy and passionate about what it is that you're doing, because you've got air in your lungs and you've got a life and you've got the ability to pursue whatever it is that you're pursuing. So don't get so, you know, it's easy to get the tunnel vision and to be so, you know, singularly focused that you miss out on the beauty of that journey. You know, there's so many amazing people that I met along the way, and my focus was never the money. It was the passion, it was the joy that it brings. So the advice, I guess, is have some humility that the course may change and enjoy it.
Great advice. I mean, I always say that it's like poker. You get your deck of hands. Right. You only play the best that you can, that you're dealt with. I can't compare it to you, and just to make the best out of it.
That's it. I mean, I'm not 6'6", or I'd be in the NBA right now, because I'm nice.
Me too.
You too.
Yeah.
You look like you're nice with it. You about 6'2", though.
Yeah. Anyway, moving forward, what's the biggest setback of your life?
I think, wow, setback. If I could sort of reframe that to say challenge,
sure,
was thinking that monetary and certain benchmarks and success would make me happy. That was the biggest realization, that it didn't. And as a matter of fact, at the height of my success, I was at my most unhappy. And it was this conundrum that I couldn't quite understand, that thrust me on a journey. You know, now today I'm 4 years sober. And
good for you.
Thank you. It thrust me onto a journey of what's really important in life, you know?
Have you deciphered it yet?
I think it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
But I can tell you it's not in money and fame and those sorts of things. Sure. However, if that is a result of your hard work, and you know, then by all means, there's certainly nothing wrong with it. But I think that if you're seeking for external things to make you happy, you're in for a rude awakening.
It's great advice. Like, just on the share of you, Phil, like I was on this deal which I was working with my team for 2-3 years, like nonstop, 5 days New York, 3 days LA, 5 days Hong Kong, 3 days. For 2-3 years I was traveling nonstop, working almost day and night. We got the deal done where we made a record 300x return on this technology company. and we listed the company on New York Stock Exchange. On the day, I was celebrating myself alone, having a glass of whiskey, thinking that all those 3 years, that was the point we were working towards, that it would be some magical thing that will happen. But what it was actually an anticlimax. So then I realized that that thing didn't actually make you happy, but it actually made you realize that those events, that what you think when you expect too much, you think this is suddenly some magic switch that you're elevated to heaven. Not at all. In fact, it was actually a complete anticlimax. And I think the moral of the story, which I think you're alluding to, is it's being present and enjoying the moment. If you're not happy now and content with who you are, where you are, how you've got there, you're never going to be happy.
I agree. Well said, man.
Is there any examples of that you would share with the audience where you turned a negative situation into a positive one?
Not wearing a suit today. I figured the cheetah print will have to do.
You stole the show.
Well, I wasn't trying to,
Yeah.
but I kind of did, huh? You see, you got to do the quick one sometimes. There was a time when Bruno and I we hadn't quite figured out what our dynamic was going to be creatively. And we were working with a lot of different producers, well-known producers, but we were feeling stifled, feeling creatively.
This is after the first jam, right?
This is before any of the real success. You know, we didn't know quite what the path was going to take, but we had a lot of frustrations around, you know, some of these producers not really being willing to change their music around what we wanted to write. I remember we sat in the car one day and just said, let's do this on our own. Let's be the producers that we don't know that we can be, and let's see if we can figure that out for ourselves, because this isn't working. So I think turning what could have been a very discouraging experience, you know, actually emboldened us to sort of take the reins of our own career and our own lives to say, hey man, maybe there's more talent here within ourselves than we even realize, and let's discover it.
In terms of like success, what does one need to have a winning mentality?
Gratitude and positivity. I think positivity is infectious. Positivity can affect a room, but conversely, negativity can as well.
Absolutely.
And so I think the difference between the two is positivity requires more consistency than negativity. Negativity is like this because I think it's what people expect, it's what we're used to, it's what we hear. And at times, positivity feels disingenuous and you're like, all right, well, what do you want out of this? There's a bit of skepticism around positivity. So you have to make it who you are. True. And once you adopt it as sort of who you are, then people are like, okay, I buy into it, and people will listen and follow and, you know, maybe spread some of that around.
And when you say gratitude, do you mean like just appreciating where you are, what you have?
Appreciating the moment. You know, I wake up nowadays and do 20 minutes of meditation every day.
Good.
And just get in touch with the now, with the sounds around me, the moment, the ability to go out and chase a dream, to have incredibly high-level conversations with gentlemen like you. It's a gift. It's a gift to be surrounded by people who want more out of life, who want to leave the world better than where they found it and be impactful. And so I like to, you know, start my days thinking about that and smiling intentionally around the idea of, okay, how can I be of service today? Right. You know, universe, God, where do you need me today?
How long have you been doing this meditation?
In about 20 minutes, that's it. Today's day one. It's going well. It's going well. I think I'll keep it up. Yeah, we'll see.
That's really good. In terms of like principles and ethics, you know, you've led a successful career. What principles and ethics do you live by for your career and as a human being?
Never be afraid to work hard and do what makes you happy. You know, take the job even if it doesn't pay as much as you think it should. Be kind. Call people back. Ask people how they're doing genuinely. And I think you'll have a good life.
Great advice. I've met a lot of like successful people globally, and usually the successful guys are humble and polite. And it's people who are not, are usually not successful. You know, I think you have to try to be a good person when you can.
I agree.
Do you believe in luck?
I do. I think a lot of success has to do with a certain amount of luck. I also believe in laws of attraction. You have an opportunity to play into your luck if your heart and mind is in the right place.
In terms of success, what do you think is like the single most important factor?
You know your why. You have to know why you're doing what it is you're doing. If you don't know your why, forget about it. You know, that why is what's gonna drive you through walking into a record label and they say, you suck. You go back home and you don't quit because it's part of your why, it's your story. And not one person is gonna tell you how to shape your own story. So if you know why you're going after something and why you're doing what it is that you want, you've got a fighting chance.
And what is your life ethos?
My life ethos is enjoy your life. Smile when you don't want to smile.
That's what I'm doing.
See? I know you don't. Wake up early if you can. Do it anyway. For example, today I'm on 3 hours of sleep.
Wow.
Because I was in the studio late last night. I had to get up and take my kids to school this morning.
Thank you for coming.
Exactly. It's so easy for me to say, I'm really tired, I need to get some sleep. And everyone would have been like, oh, I get it, he only had 3 hours of sleep. But do it anyway. You never know what it's going to turn out to be. Show up. You know, that was our motto in the studio. Just keep showing up. You know, don't expect the magic every day. But if you keep showing up, you give yourself a chance to find that magic.
I love that. Great. And legacy, what does Phil want to leave?
I want to leave the world a better place. I love it when I have 3 cameras on my face. Yes, I do right now. I love our conversation. I'm glad I didn't oversleep and keep you waiting. 'Cause you're kind of cool and you really have a nice suit. This is the kind of conversation I can really get used to.
That's really good. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
We should sell that, yeah?
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
NFTs,
Yeah,
baby.
exactly.
It only happened right here. Let's go.
So tell us about your new show, Come Dance With Me.
Oh man, I'm so excited about this show. It takes these professional kid dancers from the age of like 8 to 15, and they then invite an adult, namely a parent who's been supporting their dreams ever since they were a child, to be their partner. Now the significant thing in that is that the parents don't dance, and they compete with other teams in hopes of, in the end, winning $100,000.
I'm not coming onto the show.
All right, we'll talk about season two.
Okay.
And so, no, we get to see this dynamic shift of these kids sort of now in a position to talk, tell their parents what to do. No, mama, you're not doing it right. You got to spin a little bit faster, mama. Keep up. But at the core of it, it's just love. And you watch these evolutions, these relationships evolve.
It's touching.
It's very touching.
What's the next big thing for Phil?
I started a multimedia company called Community Culture, and so we're dibbling and dabbling in TV and film. We've got a record label of a couple incredible artists that are putting out music. We also have a division in real estate, and my business partner and I, Thomas St. John, we purchased roughly 2 acres of land in Hollywood, and we're going to be building what we're calling the Community Culture Campus. As we both know, education is everything, and mentorship. If my story or the things that I've learned can help inspire the next generation, let's figure out how we can do that on a mass scale.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, man. Yeah.
On Anything Is Possible, our podcast, we want to inspire young people. We want to share stories from influential people like yourself to the young people especially. What's your number one advice you would give to the audience, especially our younger viewers?
Relentlessly discover your purpose. Forget about the money. Forget about the accolades, forget about the fame. If you had all of that and you had an opportunity to wake up, what would you do? What would you do if nobody's looking? What would you do if you had all the money in the world and it wasn't about money? Find the thing that moves you and drives you beyond the financial success, because the world needs you to do that thing. So find out who you are, find that purpose, and chase it like you've never chased anything.
Phil, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. Anything is possible. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.